Hi everyone. So this is the full session that I did with Heather from Tap for Joy on changing my emotional response to my own body image. In particular, taking my top off in public or with a partner. Now, if you've got a similar issue for yourself, you might want to follow along with the video because it should help you as well. Or if not, other videos of Heather's will assist you. Enjoy.
How are you feeling right this second?
Bit nervous,
Yeah.
interested,
Yeah.
and probably, is this going to make a difference?
Yeah.
That's probably where I am.
Yeah. Okay. Let's actually just do a round on that because we might be able to clear like some doubts or some anxiety, that kind of thing.
Perfect.
Okay. So, and yeah, so you'll always repeat after me. Okay.
I can't quite see your hand. Oh, there we go.
Okay. So this is the karate chop point. Okay, so you'll just repeat after me. And if there's anything that you want to say that you don't want on video, obviously just still say it and we'll cut it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Okay. Even though I'm feeling a bit nervous,
Even though I'm feeling a bit nervous,
will this even work?
will this even work?
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And we can, sometimes I'll do just I deeply and completely accept myself because that feels easy to people. Some people like to have the love in there. Do you have a preference?
I prefer the love.
Okay, good, good. Even though I'm feeling nervous,
Even though I'm feeling nervous,
will this even work?
will this even work?
I hardly even know this person.
I hardly even know this person.
I still deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I still deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I'm feeling a bit nervous.
Even though I'm feeling a bit nervous.
This is going to go on YouTube.
This is going to go on YouTube.
And maybe it won't even work.
And maybe it won't even work.
Maybe it won't make any difference at all.
Maybe it won't make any difference at all.
I still deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I still deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And I'm willing
And I'm willing
to give this a try.
to give this a try.
Let's do top of the head. I am feeling nervous.
I'm feeling nervous.
This is pretty new.
This is pretty new.
And I don't even know if it will work.
And I don't even know if it will work.
It might do nothing.
It might do nothing.
That would be disappointing.
That will be disappointing.
Might not work at all.
It might not work at all.
That would be disappointing.
That will be disappointing.
And then we do an under the arm one also. So it's like, cut this part out. It's like a couple inches under the armpit.
Okay,
Yeah.
sort of there.
Yeah, yeah. Feeling nervous.
Feeling nervous.
Top of the head, feeling anxious.
I'm just going to move that slightly. Feeling anxious.
Feeling anxious.
Feeling anxious.
Feeling nervous.
Feeling nervous.
I don't even know this person.
I don't even know this person.
This is pretty brave.
This is pretty brave.
So I'm nervous.
So I'm nervous.
That's normal.
That's normal.
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous.
Okay, and then let's take a deep breath. That was good, I think, just to do a practice round anyway, to practice on the points and things.
Yes.
Did that feel okay? And can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly and it felt fine.
Okay, good. Your mic is I can hear you a lot less now. You're a lot more quiet.
Should I put it up? Is that better?
Yeah, that is better.
Okay.
That is better. Okay. can you just check in with yourself, kind of check in, see if that nervousness still feels big, or if it feels different, or if you feel nervousness anywhere in your body.
I do feel different. I just feel slightly churned in my stomach.
Churned.
Churned, kind of like it feels like it's, yeah, a bit turning over.
Okay.
It's quite minor though, but it is there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Any idea what is causing that?
It's probably just a bit of apprehension, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do a round on that. Even though my stomach is churning,
Even though my stomach is churning,
not a huge amount,
not a huge amount,
but it's there.
but it's there.
Feeling apprehensive.
Feeling apprehensive.
I still deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I still deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though my stomach is churning,
Even though my stomach is churning,
I am feeling apprehensive.
I am feeling apprehensive.
That makes sense.
That makes sense,
This is a pretty brave thing to do.
because it's a pretty brave thing to do.
And I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And I completely and deeply love and accept myself.
Let's go to the top of the head. Feeling a little stomach churning.
Feeling a little stomach churning.
My stomach is churning.
My stomach is churning.
This churning feeling in my stomach.
This churning feeling in my stomach.
My stomach is churning.
My stomach is churning.
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
I am feeling apprehensive.
I am feeling apprehensive.
I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know what's going to happen.
And that's scary.
And that's scary.
So my stomach is churning.
So my stomach is churning.
My stomach is churning.
My stomach is churning.
This is a familiar feeling.
This is a familiar feeling.
I know what this means.
I know what this means.
It means I'm a bit apprehensive.
It means I'm a bit apprehensive.
Anyone would be.
Anyone would be.
I'm doing something brave.
I'm doing something brave.
Though my stomach is churning.
So my stomach is churning.
This churning stomach.
This churning stomach.
This churning stomach.
This churning stomach.
Stomach is churning.
Stomach is churning.
My stomach is churning.
Stomach is churning.
My 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 stomach is churning.
Feeling apprehensive.
Feeling apprehensive.
Okay, and let's take a deep breath. You know, another thing that I should say to you is that when we're tapping, if ever, like, I'll try to just repeat back your words to you. So, you know, I'm really just a guide. I'm not like coming up with all these new things and trying to solve your problems. I'm just trying to create like a safe place for us to maybe have some insight together and just reflect together and look at what you're feeling.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm mainly going to be saying your words back to you, but um, but if my words are not feeling relevant at the moment for whatever reason, maybe you've changed your mind, you're not having a stomach churning, now something else is going on, just replace my words with your words. So like if we're doing like my stomach is churning and you think, huh, it's not really anymore, you can just change it, and I'll say my stomach is churning and you can say my stomach is feeling better, or whatever, you know,
Okay.
or if it switches symptoms or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Um, so how are you feeling now?
Yeah, I feel fine actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. The strange thing about this is it actually does work. It's really weird.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, so if you check in with your body right now, stomach feels better.
Yeah. Stomach feels better.
Anything else coming up for you?
No, I'm just more intrigued. That's it, really, actually.
Okay, that's
Is
a
that
good,
normal?
yeah, that's a good way to go into it. Okay, so do you want to say a few things about like why you were interested in doing this and um, something that you know might want to work on?
Yes, of course. So, my whole life, really, I've had a lack of body confidence. Um, Even when I had to do some shows where I had to expose parts of my body, nothing rude, but
Mhm.
either topless or a cruise ship I worked on actually as a singer, we had to do a strip routine down to these very tight briefs. It was the full Monty routine actually.
Wow.
And the first time after we did it in front of an audience, I just walked off stage and burst into tears because but everything, so even down to relationships, and even I am consciously very concerned about how my body looks. Even when I've been fitter or when I've been fatter, it actually doesn't make any difference. So I know it's internal and I've never really done anything about it. And when you mentioned this opportunity, I thought I think, well, the first thing that popped into my head was that. And I thought, if that's the first thing that's popped into my head, that probably means it's something I should look at and do something about. I thought it's about time, and I thought that's a good idea. So it's body confidence because it plays out in lots of different areas of my life, and it's something I'd really like to work on and resolve.
Okay. And when you think about this body confidence issue, um, if you were to rate the intensity of well, like how does it make you feel actually? What emotions does that bring up for you?
Doubt,
Okay.
um, some shame,
Yeah.
um, doubt also in the fact that I wonder what other people are thinking.
Yeah.
It could be even at the swimming pool or the beach. It could be anywhere. There's that internal voice
Yeah.
saying you're not very attractive.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, a bit of shame, bit of quite a lot of self doubt.
Okay.
And you know what? As I've got older, I always thought it was because I didn't have a perfect body. And I've realized when I'm older, yeah, I don't have a perfect body, but that's okay. But I don't feel like that.
Yeah.
So I'd like to be able to feel that it's okay.
Yeah. So kind of
Just be,
cognitively, you know it's okay, but emotionally it doesn't feel like that.
that's right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'd love to be in the place where I could just take my top off and actually not even think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, so we have doubt, shame. Let's focus on those for a few minutes. Which one feels stronger to you?
I don't think one does feel stronger, actually. I think they're pretty even
Okay.
because self doubt feels like I'm doubting my attractiveness. The shame also feels like I'm doubting my attractiveness. And actually, it's not about attractiveness. I don't really care about that anymore. I think I did in my 20s. But now I just want to, I've got friends that are naturists and things like that. I'd love to be able to do that. I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But wouldn't that be cool if I could without that shame and doubt? And
Yeah.
is that whether I want to do it or not, really? But it would be nice to not have to worry about that.
Okay. So let's focus on the feeling of doubt for a minute.
Okay.
You just see if you can kind of bring it into your body, bring it into your mind, bring it into your awareness. Think of like what that doubt really feels like. Do you feel that anywhere specifically in your body?
Yeah, here, sort of between my top of my belly and the sort of sternum,
Okay,
sort of
okay,
here,
okay,
this sort of area.
okay. So between the belly and the sternum.
Yeah,
Okay, so like right in the chest?
yeah, right in the center of the chest,
Okay.
but not up here, sort of,
Low chest?
yeah, here kind of.
Okay, okay. And what does it feel like there?
It feels quite lumpy and hard. Is hard the right word? Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, heavy as well.
Okay. And what number would you give that feeling of doubt on a scale of 0 to 10? 10 being the most intense it could be.
Now, feeling it this moment,
Yeah, and
um,
try to kind of embody it if you can.
7.
Okay, okay. And let's just start there and see if we can make some headway on that. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to do the karate chop point again. Even though I'm feeling all this body doubt,
Even though I'm feeling all this body doubt,
I can feel it in my chest.
I can feel it in my chest.
It feels hard and lumpy.
It's hard and lumpy.
I still deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I still completely and deeply love and accept myself.
Even though I'm feeling all this self doubt,
Even though I'm feeling all this self doubt,
it's like a 7.
like a 7.
I can feel it in my chest,
I can feel it in my chest.
a hard, lumpy feeling.
It's hard, lumpy feeling.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway.
I completely, deeply and love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I'm feeling this self doubt,
Even though I'm feeling this self doubt,
it's like a hard, lumpy feeling in my chest.
it's like a hard, lumpy feeling in my chest.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway.
I deeply love and completely accept myself anyway.
Perfect. Okay, and then let's go to the top of the head. All this self doubt,
All this self doubt,
all this doubt,
all this doubt,
it's been there for a long time.
been there for a long time.
All this doubt,
All this doubt,
I can feel it in my chest.
I can feel it in my chest.
All this doubt,
All this doubt,
all this doubt.
all this doubt.
Yeah, do a little closer to the center of your chest. Yeah, like that. It's like a hard, lumpy feeling in my chest.
It's like a hard. It doesn't feel like that anymore.
Okay. How does it?
Right? It feels a bit more like a swirling thing.
Okay. This swirling feeling in my chest.
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 Swirling feeling in my chest.
It was hard and lumpy.
It's back to being hard and lumpy. Sorry.
That's how it goes. It's normal. This hard, lumpy feeling in my chest.
It's hard, lumpy feeling in my chest.
All this self doubt.
All this self doubt.
All this self doubt.
All this self doubt.
This hard feeling in my chest.
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 Let's take a deep breath there. Let's check in with yourself and see If that feels the same. I know the feeling in the chest was changing. That's really normal for it to maybe lighten up for a minute and then go back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's normal.
I don't know how I'm feeling now.
That's okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know how I'm
yeah,
feeling actually.
yeah, that's fine. And you still have like that hard lumpy feeling in your chest, like right this moment?
Yes, but it feels slightly different. It's not swirling. I don't know what it's like, just like it's plonked there. It doesn't feel like it's, yeah, plonked there would be about right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And it doesn't feel as big, but
Okay.
it feels more dense,
Okay. Okay.
I think. Yeah, that's how it feels.
Okay. Let's just tap on that for a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll start at the top of the head. This dense feeling in my chest.
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 It's kind of plunked there.
Kind of plonked there.
This dense feeling in my chest.
This dense feeling in my chest.
It was hard and lumpy.
It was hard and lumpy.
Now it's just kind of plunked there. Is that what you said
Yeah,
before?
plonked there. Yeah, dumped there. It's
Yeah.
kind of dumped there.
Yeah.
It's like a weight.
It's like a weight dumped on my chest.
Yeah, like a weight dumped under my chest.
It's like a weight dumped on my chest.
It's like a weight dumped on my chest.
This feeling in my chest.
This feeling in my chest.
And do the top of the head if you can. Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of do all the fingers to because there's a lot of points up there.
Okay.
Yeah. This dense feeling in my chest.
This dense feeling in my chest.
Like a heavy weight.
Like a heavy weight.
Just dumped there.
Just dumped there.
This dense feeling in my chest.
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 It's like a weight.
It's like a weight.
Just dumped there.
Just dumped there.
Let's take a deep breath there. And maybe a sip of water if you need it.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's okay if you don't feel any different. Like you can tell me if you feel better, if you feel worse, if you feel different, or if you feel the same, they're all fine.
I don't know what I feel. I
Okay.
genuinely
Okay.
don't know what I feel. I don't know what do I feel? I know exactly what I feel. Do you know what I do feel? I feel slightly empty.
Hmm.
That's what I feel. I'm not feeling the hard thing anymore. I was trying to work out what that was, but if it feels like, you know, when you've had something, it feels like the shape of that is still there,
Yeah.
but it feels like it's created a gap, but the thing inside is gone, but the gap's still there, so I can still feel it, which is making me feel empty. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Uh, is the empty feeling, does that feel more positive or negative or just neutral?
I actually feel a tiny bit sick because of that. Weirdly, not, yeah, just feel a bit like lump in the throat
Okay.
feeling.
Okay.
Don't know what that's about.
Okay.
It hasn't shifted. It's just, I don't think it's shifted. No, it hasn't shifted. But yeah, I feel slightly nauseous actually.
slightly.
not. Yeah. Is that normal?
Everything is normal.
Okay.
We hold so much emotion and kind of so much crap and so many memories and so much like unprocessed stuff. It lodges inside the body. So when you make some kind of attempt to dislodge it or even look at it or move it a little bit, um, it brings other things up. So it's totally normal.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And does it still feel a little nauseous right now?
Yeah, it's just subsided a bit, but it's still there a bit.
Yeah, yeah,
That's so interesting.
yeah. Okay, so let's just do a quick round on that and just see what
Okay.
happens with it. So we'll just do top of the head. Feeling a bit nauseous now.
Feeling a bit nauseous now.
This is so interesting.
This is so interesting.
It's like an empty space
Like an empty space
where that heaviness used to be.
where that heaviness used to be.
There's an empty space
It's an empty space
where the heaviness used to be.
where the heaviness used to be.
A little nausea now.
A little nauseous now.
A little nauseous now.
A little nauseous now.
That heaviness has lifted.
The heaviness is lifted.
Now it's more of an empty space.
Now it's more of an empty space.
That thing inside is gone.
That thing inside has gone.
That thing inside is gone.
That thing inside has gone.
The shape is still there,
The shape is still there,
but the thing inside is gone.
but the thing inside has gone.
You still feel like you have a lump in your throat?
I still feel like I have a lump in my throat.
This lump in my throat.
Lump in my throat.
Feeling a 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 lump in my throat.
This 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 lump in my throat.
And then we'll just pause there and take a deep breath. Does it still feel like a lump in your throat?
Not totally. No, not totally, actually.
Okay.
No. It's so weird. I normally know exactly what I feel.
Okay.
I don't really know.
Uh,
Okay.
Any nausea still?
No.
Okay. The nausea's gone.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. If you check in with your body, can you tell if anything else is going on with any other parts of the body?
There's still the gap thing.
Okay.
It's like this. It's like I tell you, it's like a shell. It's
Yeah.
like that's what it's like with nothing inside.
Hmm.
That's still there.
Hmm.
No nauseous now. I've got no lump in my throat, but
Okay.
that's still there.
Okay.
That hasn't gone.
Okay.
The last couple of things we've done.
Okay. Do you have a positive or a negative association with it or just neutral?
Yeah, neutral would be about right, actually.
Okay. Okay. So maybe we'll leave that be for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so going back to this feeling of doubt, wondering what other people are thinking, being very aware of your body and how it looks. Um, can you remember like a specific time when you felt that? Maybe an early time or like an intense time when that came up for you?
How early would be?
As early as you remember experiencing that?
It's not particularly early. It's probably about 14, 15 time.
Okay.
Um, I do remember a specific time we went boating. It was a very hot day, and I had very bad acne then,
Mm,
and it was all over my body.
mm,
And they was, "Oh, take your top off. You know, it's really warm." So I did, and there was a kind of a look on people's faces,
mm,
and I really, yeah, felt like crap, really.
mhm, mhm.
So I definitely remember that. Um, but probably earlier than that, PE was physical education. I don't know if it's called the same in the States. I was very conscious from the whole of senior school, really, from day one, about taking my clothes off in the changing room.
Mhm.
I don't know whether that's linked to being gay or what, but I didn't like it. I felt very unattractive and not really very, well, I just hated it really. Awful time. Um, so that just popped into my head. Earlier than that, I don't think I did actually.
Okay.
Probably pre the kind of puberty, probably not. So from 11 onwards, I think that's when it, yeah.
Okay. So,
Actually, sorry, there's a picture of me when I was about, well, I remember it really distinctly. I was probably about 7 and I've got my top off running through a thing chucking rocks in ponds. And I was blissfully happy then. And it didn't bother me at all. I had my top off. So there's something shifted between then and 11.
okay. So, if you think about the voting time
Hmm.
and the changing clothes in PE time, can you tell, is there one of those that's more intense for you, the memory?
Um, the reason I'm hesitating, I'm sorry, is it's the 14-year-old. I was kind of very angry
Yeah.
about why have I got acne? Why do I look like this? Blah. Rather than I was probably more shameful. I think the anger overtook the shame when I was 14 rather than 11 when all of that early time really. They all sort of mold into one. I can't really remember a specific time in the changing rooms. They all were bad. So I don't know which one's stronger. I know which one's earlier.
Mm,
Um, but I think the boating one is probably stronger.
okay.
Weirdly,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. So, would you say that you can feel that feeling of anger or the feeling of shame more intensely in that voting time?
I think now I feel the shame more. I think I don't. When I think back to that, I don't feel angry anymore. But well, shame, and I think it's a shame that I
Mm,
couldn't have just been that. Yeah. So what? I've got acne. Teenagers have acne.
yeah.
Actually, if I'd known then I had acne, and well, I still get it sometimes. So actually, was going to be with me for a long time, and it hasn't really affected my life particularly.
Mm,
The only thing it's affected, I know all of this now, but that stuff from that, I don't feel angry. I feel don't feel angry. Don't even feel shame, really. I feel more disappointed, I think, that I could just accept it and just be. And actually, a much better version, if I'm logical about it, would have been the sun would probably have been good for my acne.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's anger. It's embarrassment.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I
Um,
can feel that quite strongly.
okay. What is that on a scale of 0 to 10 right now?
9.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I can feel that quite strongly because
Do you,
that still feels the same
yeah.
now.
Yeah. Do you feel
Different things, not acne now, different things,
that?
but that feeling is identical.
Okay. And do you feel that anywhere in your body in particular?
Yeah,
That
across my shoulders.
okay.
Yeah, that's strange. Just really quite, yeah, both of them actually, all the way
Okay.
along
Okay.
here.
Okay. How does that feel across your shoulders?
Very tight. Yeah, very tight. Tell you what it feels like. It feels like I'm being stretched.
Okay.
That's what it feels like.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay. All right. Let's do a round on that.
Okay.
Even though I have this tight feeling across my shoulders,
Even though I have this tight feeling across my shoulders,
it's intense.
it's intense.
I feel like I'm getting stretched.
I feel like I'm getting stretched.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I have this tight feeling across my shoulders,
Even though I have this tight feeling across my shoulders,
when this feeling of embarrassment came up,
when this feeling of embarrassment came up,
and it's intense,
it's intense.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I have this intense feeling in my shoulders,
Even though I have this intense feeling in my shoulders,
I'm being stretched
I'm being stretched
so tight.
so tight.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Let's do top of the head. This tight feeling across my shoulders.
Tight feeling across my shoulders.
This tight feeling across my shoulders.
This tight feeling across my shoulders.
This tight feeling across both 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 shoulders.
I was feeling embarrassed,
I was feeling embarrassed,
remembering that painful feeling.
remembering that painful feeling.
It's the same now.
It's the same now.
This painful embarrassment.
It's painful embarrassment.
This painful embarrassment.
Painful embarrassment.
I can feel it in my shoulders.
I can feel it in my shoulders.
This tight feeling across both shoulders.
Except it's not there now.
Okay. Okay. Any other body feelings?
No.
Okay. This memory of embarrassment.
This memory of embarrassment.
Feeling so embarrassed.
Feeling so embarrassed.
Feeling so embarrassed
Feeling so embarrassed
at a young age.
at a young age.
It's a shame
It's a shame
that I was feeling so embarrassed.
that I was feeling so embarrassed.
This painful embarrassment.
It's painful embarrassment.
So embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
Such a painful feeling.
Such a painful feeling.
This embarrassment
This embarrassment
when I was 14 or 15.
when I was 14 or 15.
All this embarrassment.
All this embarrassment.
All this embarrassment.
All this embarrassment.
Let's pause there and take a deep breath.
That was very weird. It literally just went. Yeah.
Yeah. I think doing this tapping, it really does make you aware of how temporary so many body sensations are.
Yeah.
And we think, oh, something is setting in, and then we give it a little bit of attention and it just dissipates.
I mean, literally just went.
Yeah. Like,
Okay, and it was so tight. Yeah, that literally went. Okay, I don't. Okay, a very surreal experience.
yeah. And when you think of that embarrassing feeling on the boat when you're 14 or 15 taking your shirt off, does that still feel like a 9?
No, no, not at all. Actually, it doesn't really feel like anything. It just feels like a memory. That's
Okay.
yeah. That doesn't feel like. Yeah, that feels like different. Just that feels very different. In fact, it's quite nice.
In what way?
Very, just it was on the river and it was with friends and it was a nice day.
Mm.
That's so interesting. Ah, that doesn't feel like anything.
Okay.
That's, yeah, that doesn't feel like anything.
Okay. And maybe we can check in later and see, if anything is crept back, because it would
Yes.
be nice just to really be able to neutralize some of these painful memories.
Yeah. There is. I'm still feeling this thing though. That has not left since we've been talking about any of this. So that's still. That's gone. That
Yeah.
definitely has. That was quite weird actually. That literally went. But this whole thing is still there and has not changed since
Okay.
we just. It's interesting.
Yeah. Does that feel worrisome at all to you?
No, it doesn't feel worrisome actually. It just feels like it's what not normal.
Okay. Okay.
But
So
I'm not saying it doesn't feel bad or good actually. It just feels there.
okay, so we can go back to that um, if we need to, but some of these other things that we're doing might change that feeling.
Okay.
So let's just move on for a little bit to the PE memories.
Okay.
So see if you can just bring yourself back there. Um, and I know that there were many times over a period of time,
Yeah.
but if you could just try to imagine like a specific time, even if you have to sort of, make it up, if we could pretend that you remember a specific day or moment of having to change clothes, feeling
Yeah.
unattractive.
I have got one.
Okay. And what would you say is the primary emotion associated with that memory?
It's embarrassment,
So embarrassment.
but it's embarrassment comparing myself with other people,
Okay. Okay.
not feeling good enough compared with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's what it is.
yeah. Yeah. And what would you say the intensity of that is on a scale of 0 to 10?
It doesn't feel that intense.
Okay.
It feels, what's it feel like? It doesn't feel that intense. It feels like, I don't know really. Yeah, that doesn't. I don't. It doesn't feel like. It feels like a. Just feels like a memory. It doesn't really feel like. I don't. I'm not really getting any emotion from thinking about that. And I'm thinking about now a very specific time.
Okay. Can you just tell
Um,
me about the time?
yeah, it was. It was. I was stood next to. I use the American term a jock.
Uh-huh.
And he was obviously further down the puberty line than I was, and I just felt really inferior changing next to him,
Yeah.
from his hairy legs, from his, everything was just, well, better,
Yeah.
basically. And I felt like I was being looked at by other people in the changing room, just that kind of stuff. But it was not. I'm thinking about it now, and I'm thinking, am I having an emotional reaction to it? A bit, maybe. Yeah, actually, maybe I am having a tiny bit. 4, maybe.
Okay.
And it's in the same place. That's the only reason I'm realizing it, because it's here.
Uh,
So
it's in the chest. And is that what does that feel like? Does that
it's not embarrassment though. That's shame. It is shame, because I do think there was some. But I do think actually there was some. I think the shame did come from that bit. Came from the fact that I was also probably finding him attractive as well as comparing.
yeah, yeah.
So there's that in there. There's definitely that's. I've never thought about that before, but yeah, there's definitely shame in there.
Okay, okay. And so what number would you give the shame?
7.
Okay. And that you can feel in your chest?
Do I feel that? Well, there's nothing else going on, so it must be here.
Okay. What does it feel like in the chest?
It's still that circular thing,
Okay.
empty, but it is moving now.
Okay.
So it sort of feels like it's rotating. It's not spinning, it's more rotating.
Okay.
Not fast, it's kind of quite, not ploddy, but it's not moving, it's not going like that. It's going more like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's do karate chop point. Even though I'm having this rotating feeling in my chest,
Even though I'm having this rotating feeling in my chest,
when I think of this memory of PE,
when I think of this memory of PE,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I'm having this rotating feeling in my chest,
Even though I'm having this rotating feeling in my chest.
I remember changing in the changing room.
I remember changing in the changing room.
There's a lot of shame in that
A,
memory,
a lot of shame in that memory.
but I still deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I still completely and deeply love and accept myself.
Even though I had so much shame
Even though I had so much shame
standing in the changing room with that other jock.
standing in the changing room with that other jock.
It's giving me a swirling feeling in my chest.
It's giving me a swirling feeling in my chest.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
go to the top of the head. All the shame.
All the shame.
All the shame.
All the shame.
Standing next to that jock.
Standing next to that jock.
In the changing room.
In the changing room.
When I was about 11.
When I was about 11.
All the shame.
All the shame.
Standing next to the jock.
Standing next to the jock.
Comparing myself with him.
Comparing myself with him.
Feeling shame.
And feeling shame.
Maybe there is some attraction there.
Maybe there was some attraction there.
Standing next to that jock.
Standing next to that jock.
In the changing room.
In the changing room.
And that made me feel shame.
And that made me feel shame.
I was just 11.
I was just 11.
Feeling shame.
Feeling shame.
In the changing room.
In the changing room.
Standing next to the jock.
Standing next to the jock.
Comparing myself with him.
Comparing myself with him.
Maybe feeling some attraction.
Maybe feeling some attraction.
And feeling shame.
And feeling shame.
Standing next to the jock.
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 Feeling shame.
Feeling shame.
I was just 11.
I was just 11.
So much to contend with.
So much to contend with.
Having to change in that changing room.
Having to change in that changing room.
In front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
And looking at the jock.
And looking at the jock.
Comparing myself.
Comparing myself.
Maybe feeling some attraction.
Maybe feeling some attraction.
Definitely feeling some shame.
Definitely feeling some shame.
Not measuring up.
Not measuring up.
Let's take a deep breath there and just pause. So that was feeling like a 7 before. Does that still feel like a 7? Or does it feel a little different? Anything else come up?
Halfway through that, I started to feel guilty.
Okay.
But I kind of just felt like that was the same as shame.
Okay.
But a different word came up, but it didn't feel any different. But I did pop in. It stopped spinning.
Okay.
It's not as big either.
Okay.
Just noticed it's not as big. It's still there, but it's not as big.
Okay.
And it's not spinning.
Okay. Does it happen to have a color?
It's been quite a grey black all the way through, really.
Okay.
Yeah. It's never had a colour as such.
Okay.
Oh no, it was brown to start with. It was brown, so it's now grey black.
And does that shame still feel like a 7?
I'm just playing it back.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel anywhere near that, actually.
Okay. There's still a little bit there.
Yeah, a little bit, but not loads.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some there, but not anywhere. It's definitely diminished, actually,
Okay.
because I'm not having a really strong feeling.
Okay. Okay. So let's just do another round on that and see if we can get it to diminish even more.
Okay, cool.
Shot point again. Even though I still feel some shame,
Even though I still feel some shame
maybe some guilt,
and maybe some guilt,
it's gotten a lot less.
it's gotten a lot less.
And I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I have some shame left,
Even though I have some shame left
and maybe some guilt,
and maybe some guilt,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I may have some shame left,
Even though I may have some shame left.
and there might be some guilt in there too.
And there might be some guilt in there too.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
We'll go top of the head. This remaining shame.
This remaining shame.
This remaining shame.
This remaining shame.
This remaining guilt.
This remaining guilt.
This remaining guilt.
This remaining guilt.
I have some guilt left.
I have some guilt left.
Still some guilt in there.
There's still some guilt in there.
Still some guilt in the changing room.
Still some guilt in the changing room.
Still feeling some guilt.
Still feeling some guilt.
Still feeling some shame.
Still feeling some shame.
Remembering the changing room.
Remembering the changing room.
Remembering the jock.
Remembering the jock.
Some guilt left.
Some guilt left.
Some shame left.
Some shame left.
Still some feeling in the chest.
Still some feeling in the chest. Not sure there is anymore. Some feeling in the chest.
Okay. Little bit of feeling in the chest.
A little bit of feeling in the chest.
Little bit of feeling in the chest.
Little bit of feeling in the chest.
It was swirly.
It was swirly.
But not anymore.
But not anymore.
It was brown.
It was brown.
But not anymore.
But not anymore.
It's gotten smaller.
It's gotten a lot smaller.
It's gotten a lot smaller.
It's gotten a lot smaller.
This remaining shame and guilt.
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 Let's take a deep breath there. So when you think about being in the changing room, it's hairy jock.
You know, I can't remember his face at all. I can only remember his legs. That's so interesting. I don't know what that's about. Can't picture his face at all. Isn't that interesting? Can't picture his face. I don't think I ever could. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it feels like that diminished.
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
Actually, that happened. That it went totally for a little while. I feel like it's back a tiny bit, but it's kind of just
And when
really
you say,
small.
yeah, when you say it, is it the feeling in the chest,
Yes.
or the shame, or both?
Well, the feeling in the chest, definitely.
Okay.
I'm struggling to understand what I was ashamed about, actually. So that's interesting in itself.
It seems to indicate it's gotten less.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about it. I don't feel ashamed at all. That's still there a tiny bit, but it is very small. Tell you what it feels like. It feels like a marble now.
Okay.
Still hollow. That's very small. Oh, wow.
And is it moving or still?
Still.
Okay. Does it have a color?
Not really. It's dark, but it's like the light's being shown on it, so you can see a bit of glisten, but it's tiny.
Okay.
It's completely different to what it was.
Okay. So let's just see if we can do something with the marble.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's start at the top of the head. This remaining feeling in my chest,
This remaining feeling in my chest,
like a hollow marble,
like a hollow marble,
like a hollow marble
like a hollow marble
in the center of my chest.
in the center of my chest.
It was a lot bigger before,
It was a lot bigger before,
and now it's small and marble like.
and now it's small and marble-like.
Small like a marble.
It's small like a marble.
It used to be bigger
It used to be bigger
and swirling,
and swirling.
but now it's small like a marble,
Now it's small like a marble,
like a hollow marble
like a hollow marble,
with the light shining on it.
with the light shining on it.
This remaining feeling in my chest,
This remaining feeling in my chest,
like a hollow marble,
like a hollow marble,
like a hollow marble
like a hollow marble,
in the center of my chest.
in the center of my chest.
This remaining marble feeling.
This remaining marble feeling.
Let's pause there.
Well, it went and came back and went and came back and went and came back.
Okay.
Exactly what happened.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought I noticed some looks on your face that it was doing something. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's there again.
Yes and no. That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's kind of experimenting with if it wants to go or stay.
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly what it's up to, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that weird? That sounds really weird to me.
It might be weird, but it's so common with EFT.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, sometimes, you'll just chase a sensation like all around your body. It'll go into different body parts and take different shapes. Um, but the fact that it started bigger and got smaller is a good sign.
Yeah. No, it feels better.
Oh, good,
It feels much better.
good.
And I don't feel sick. I can't believe I felt sick at the beginning. I felt really nauseous. That's really weird. I was a bit like, oh my God, am I going to throw up on camera? That's what I thought for a second. God. So weird.
Okay, so I'm glad that that's feeling better.
Yeah, Heather, it really is.
Good, good.
Yeah, it really is.
So you had the doubt, the shame, the embarrassment. Um, what is that like um, when you think of that self-doubt now? Does anything in particular come to mind?
No, except I'm intrigued about what would happen next time I took my top off.
Mm.
How would I feel?
Yeah, yeah.
That's almost intrigued. Like, what would that be different?
Well, that will be the test, you know.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
that will really show us, you know, what we're what we still need to work on, and maybe some of the different layers. Do you have do you have any desire to tap on, like, after you were on the stage and then you came back and burst into tears? Do you have any intensity with that memory?
Honestly, I feel like it was less about that situation and more about previous.
Yeah,
If I, 'cause I was what, 28, 29 when that happened. So even though that happened and it was horrible, and I'd built myself up all day, well, for probably a couple of weeks before with rehearsals to this thing,
yeah,
um, I don't feel that. Yeah, I don't feel that that was the problem.
yeah,
You know, I knew even then that it wasn't created then. It was created
yeah,
the stuff we're talking about, really.
yeah.
Um, because I had another show I had to strip in. Well, I was about 20 then, and it was the same experience. It was awful,
Mm,
absolutely awful. I mean, the only reason I did it was because I wanted to be on stage. The wanting to be on stage was more important than taking your clothes off. It was not pleasant. It was an awful experience, really.
yeah.
And some people doing the show, we loved it. All this adoration from these people cheering and screaming. Oh, it was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. But yeah, I'd be interested to see how different it it is really. Is it different? Is
Yeah,
it? That would be very interesting.
yeah. Well, so you'll check and see,
Yes.
and then just take note of, you know, what feelings come up, where you feel it in your body, and we can tap on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Does this feel like a good place to stop?
Yes, I think so. I
Okay.
think so. I think so. I feel like it's a lot went on.
Yeah.
A lot went on.
And probably more even under the surface than you are aware of.
Oh, undoubtedly,
Yeah.
undoubtedly. Um, yeah, 100%. Yeah, feels. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what I feel really. I feel something has shifted, but I can't explain to you exactly what.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it'll become more clear in the next few days.
Yeah.
You know, maybe other memories will come up. But it's good to have worked on those two memories, because it seems like those were things, you know, if you have like that intense shame or embarrassment about anything, like, what a lovely thing to be able to do, to go back and make that feel better.
And the interesting thing is, I knew what we were going to discuss today, but those things I hadn't thought about.
Yeah.
They hadn't even crossed my mind,
Yeah.
actually, until this conversation, which I think that just shows you,
Yeah.
it showed me anyway, that my brain obviously wanted to bring those to the surface at the right point, which was obviously now,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'd forgotten about the boat thing completely. I'd forgotten about the changing rooms completely.
Mhm.
Clearly hadn't forgotten about them, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
That wasn't when I talked about body confidence, and I knew we were going to talk about that. Didn't think I hadn't really thought about anything really, apart from the fact of the now. It's really interesting. It's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Okay. So we'll stop there. for now.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah. And then
Thank
we'll
you.
check in again in another couple days and you can let me know how you
Yes. Awesome.
Okay. All right.